food is a weapon, right? Recently, Russia declared will bomb, uh, will block the the outer side port. It's you know because of the port, the seaport. It's the let me check. Let me check the. Hmm? Okay, let me check. Okay, I have to la 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 la. Hmm? No voice. Okay, okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, food is a weapon. In China, there's a Chinese saying, right? If you want the soldier to fight, you need to give them food. 兵马未动，粮草先行. Always in relation with the food, because food is the foundation of everything. No matter what, no matter so far, but I think the technology could develop into a stage. Uh, in that stage, we do not need the food because we are as a human being will be how to say evolution evolved into a stage. We are not a carbohydrate based flesh animal. We are silicon based. We have all kind of chips embedded into our body, to even to control your mind, brain, your thinking. The 血管, let me check 血管. So much 血管 blood flow, right? Blood vessel, right? Artery, vein, right? Blood vessel, right? My channel, why I want to use AI technology is that I have read so much information through Chinese media, and I'm a Chinese. I grew up in China. Now I have spent my like almost 30 years in Canada. I have spent 30 years in China. Of course, in between I have traveled, stayed in different places, different countries. But a major, my primitive, living in the country is China. What's China? And no, I mean, I still think China is my motherland. 祖国. They said it's not a 祖国, it's your previous citizenship country. That's kind of 祖籍国. How to say 祖籍国? Let me check. How do they say 祖籍国? Okay, 祖籍国, 祖国, country of origin. So I said China is my 祖国. Is right. Why they have to say 祖籍国? In English, it's the same phrase, 祖籍国. So I think some Chinese are mentally crazy. They must divide people from the origin, or it has your 祖籍国. What do you mean 祖籍国? In English, there's no such phrase, such sentence 祖籍国. 祖国 and 祖籍国. I put this in my dialogue box. 祖籍国, 祖籍国, 祖国, country of origin. these two phrase or two words, 祖国 is the same in English. I don't understand why those Chinese have to divide this concept. You don't need to divide. You said you follow the Western culture, right? Western civilization. Western civilization is the top of the humankind civilization. China is backward. China has no culture. China has no history. China's history is full of barbarian. That's what they have been teaching. They penetrating, 渗透啊，let me check 渗透penetration, penetrating, yeah, those kind of idea. And when you learn the level of a foreign language, basically all the most of the translation are questionable. But for the ordinary Chinese, they just think it is it is what foreign people think or thought. To the Western country, to the Western people, the same thing. In the English world, many people depend on the translation. I don't see the military commander are Chinese, right? Or the boss, yeah, of multinational companies, the CEO, blah blah. They use you know they use Indian people to act as CEO, CRO, because they don't trust China. Indian was colonized by the British, by the UK. But UK is decaying, shrinking because of the United States. But the United States is the son. It's the son for the United Kingdom. Do you remember the ceremony? I mean, the 葬礼, the funeral for the former queen, right? Elizabeth. Everybody pays their respect to even the vice chairman for China went to the funeral. Show respect. Okay, to me, only two state leaders can, drive into the funeral. It's the president of the United States, and another one is, vice president of China. So you can see from this kind of global event, people or the global powers, the countries, the governments of the each of and every countries of the world, they respect or they pay attention to China. China has influence, but the Chinese influence, they don't want to say. They don't want to say, I'm, the leader of the world. That's American. The American says, I'm the leader of the world. But why we say today we talk about the food war, the war of food. War always in relation or in relation with the food, or food is a foundation for war. You don't have food, you don't have war, because nobody can survive. Then nobody can, join the war to fight for you. So you have to provide food. Ukraine, half of the Ukraine's food. I mean wheat, right? Wheat. 谷物怎么说 Let me check. Cereals. Right. Cereals and the wheat are exporting half of the products. Cereal and wheats from Ukraine export to the European countries. So that they say Ukraine is the granary of Europe, and it's the granary of the world. But half of the the food is has been exported to UK, United, European Union. China imports from Ukraine, not a lot, takes like 5%. The far less than the import from United States, Brazil, or Mexico, whatever. Ukraine, actually, Ukraine, geologically speaking, is closer if they use the railway. The railway now to the Russia and Eastern European countries, called Belt and Road, right? This volume of the transportation, railway transportation in this is increased tremendously. However, there are problems, of course, just like ocean transportation. But ocean transportation is cheap. Takes a bit longer, but cheaper. The transportation fee is cheaper. Right? They don't need to build such long like a rail, right? That's ocean is natural given. Remember, whatever natural given is cheap because it's endless. You can use without pay, without construction. You can have the capability to develop. So the Russian or Ukraine war, Russia and the Ukraine war, it created a problem. But I think that's a result of problems too. The war is a problem, but the war is also the result of problems. The world has problems. The world has problems. The world is sick, need medicine. They use war as a medicine. And my gasoline, I mean, the gas cost going up again every day. Used to be close to $2, very high $2. It used to be 99, but now it's like a 1.60, almost 70. That's a big burden to our, to us. We, the gasoline is a portion of our daily expenses. We cannot live without gasoline. So they create like electric cars. I heard there are inventions to to make the technology would make all the electricity free of charge to everybody. That's good news, maybe, or bad news. I don't know. Bad news to the electric power companies because they don't have this kind of mechanic to generate profit. Capitalism is all about a profit. Capitalists, they only care about the profit because without profit they cannot survive. The company cannot survive. They cannot. They say they provide jobs, but nowadays their theory. I mean, the theory become dominant. The theory says labor doesn't generate wealth. Only entrepreneurship generates wealth. Only capitalism generates wealth. To certain, under certain conditions, it is right. Because all the capitalism is regarding about money, regarding about the generation of wealth. So what is wealth then? If you don't have food, wealth means something, means nothing, right? Because you will die. When you die, everything means nothing to you, right? Whatever you own it or not owning it because you die. The world has nothing, has no relationship with you anymore. No, whatsoever. You don't have relationship after your death to you. Maybe to certain people, to certain living people, they could have some relationship still after your death, such as Chairman Mao, such as Eisenhower, such as Washington, such as Confucius. But do you remember who is Confucius, or is there any identification left to prove such figure? Confucius even, or even Jesus. You believe it, but have you ever met Jesus? Some people said met long time ago, right? We said Christ, so BC, right? Or AC, right? After Christ. So we only have 2,000 years. So Christ left us only 2023 years, right? Left the earth. They are. It says, oh, there's rumors about 2000. The year 2000 says the world will end by 2000, and then 2012, and then whatever. But it doesn't happen yet. It will happen, of course. But the problem is when. Can you tell? No, nobody can tell us. Even tomorrow, the end of the world comes. You cannot tell. You don't predict the end of the world, even the death of your life, because it's so unpredictable. The world becomes. Africa is in hunger state. Half of the food, grain, 粮食. Let me check what they say. 粮食. Food. Food is food. We have food bank. Many working people cannot survive without the assistance of food bank. Working people, working poor. It happens so normal, so frequent, so ordinary, so common. People are suffering while they fight. China has large population. India now has population very large. But in India, the weather is so warm, so it can have all year round agriculture. But in China, many places are only one season agriculture, maybe only 4 months, 6 months to the maximum to certain western, northern countries, like in Canada. My neighbor, she bought the tomato seed or whatever the plant, $2. When they planted, she said like it's at the beginning of the spring. Now 3 months has passed. The potatoes, tomato, yeah, tomato is still not booming out. I said, you are the, that's the weather, right? That's the soil, that's the weather, because only the plant can only survive maybe 6 months and then dead, sleep during the winter season, almost 6 months in Canada. If to the northern part of Canada, maybe all year round it's winter, right? There you cannot produce food. But still, the global warming maybe, bring benefit to the cold area of the world, like Canada, Alaska, right? Forever frozen area, they melting. The ice in the southern pole or northern pole, northern pole, 90 yeah, they are melting. And the ocean level going up because of the iceberg melting. people has problem with the food and with the weather too. China become very hot. In certain area, 40 degrees Celsius, right? 摄氏度, Jesus. Celsius, 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 Celsius. My pronunciation, I kind of, I try to use AI to convert the main idea, but it is of the Chinese word. It is very proven to be very hard, but I still want to bring more original text into the use through AI, Google Translation, and use the machine reading mechanic to pass the message. I think you better, you know, read through the original, even though it's AI translated. However, it gave you 60% accurate or close to the reality, the articles in Chinese. And Chinese people learn English. It's a popular, it's very popular or world nationwide. Everybody want their people learn English nowadays because before, when the Soviet Union still exists, especially during the Stalin era, a lot of Chinese, intellectuals learn Russian because Russia gave support, bring in technology, science, and industrial solutions to China. Therefore, in very short time, Chinese, the how China's economic or industrial structure changed. Before only, natural agriculture product. The production to support the whole country, support export if there is export, right? And depend on the backward peasants. They don't know. They are illiterate. 90% of Chinese back then, before 1949, was illiterate. They don't even know their name, or many people don't have a name in China. That's the historical fact. But young people doesn't know, and many older guys become bad. They don't want people know that. I don't know why, but we need to know. We need to know the evolution of China, the evolution of USA. Mayflower, right? But I don't want to criticize that US, because I was not originally from the US or from Canada. My country of origin is China, my 祖国. So I tell my friend in China, I said, you don't want your children become, a person without 祖国, without country of origin. They don't recognize the country of origin. You cannot change, right? Only the natural disaster can change. For example, the continent sunk into the ocean, disappeared. But the human being may create underwater environment. We can still live. There's a solution to live under sea. We know the area of the sea is much bigger than the area of land. So we could utilize a kind of technology. Why we have to use submarine as the military purpose? Why we don't use submarines to create ocean cities, ocean countries, ocean universe, living space? We have technology, we have production. This could be kind of accumulated for humans sustained generations. We have to think about it. Maybe that's why Musk said we go to colonize Mars, but we don't know Mars is inhabitable. 可居住的 Yeah, so suitable for survival, for human survival. So we have to change our structure, human structure. We still can have birth and sex, which is kind of part of important part of our life, right? Sex. We born with sex, right? Genetics. Is that important? But many, 生物，咱们讲生物，many 生物，生物 many organisms biologically they don't have sex. They also have generations. They also produce their children. Or you see it as children, but it can genetically or they have relations. Maybe later on in the future, we don't need sex. Many many madness created by sex. But if we don't have sex, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Just like if we don't need food, is that a good thing or bad thing? Thank you very much. Bye bye.